हरे कृष्ण ओम ज्ञान तीव्रान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So let us continue with the 10th chapter, departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka. Here a very important topic of discussion is how was the kingdom of Yudhishthir Maharaj. And this is very interesting, and Prabhupada gave very nice purports. Homework is you have to meditate on. Will not be able to discuss much, but still they are very nicely explained how by following dharma there is prosperity. Even it does not matter. This is very important that our literature are not sectarian literature. This is very important for us to understand. Sectarian literature means if you don't follow me, you'll go to hell. I am only right. Everybody is wrong. They're ignorant. Or this is the only path everybody should follow. This is sectarian way. But if you see our literatures, they are not sectarian. And also why there is so much variety? Because there are so many mood and conditionings of living entities. So you have to address them according to their position. That is also very important. Like you just give one book for all levels of people, then it will not work. Then you have to remain a sectarian person, or you have to remain a fanatic, or you have to just be a sentimental person, some fundamentalist. Because you cannot justify everything for everyone. That is the problem. But when you say, people complain, no, like why in Vedic literature we have so many books, just one book they would given, everybody should follow Bhagavad Gita. So actually it is not like that. Why only so many books? If you go to other religions, they have only one book and everybody follows that book. Yeah, that is there, but with the Vedic culture is not like that. Vedic culture is, you are in 3rd grade class, you take 3rd grade books, then pass to the 4th grade. You are in 8th class, then you read 8th grade. You are in engineering or you are in PhD. So according to your level, the books are given according to that. And then everybody can progress gradually without, there is nothing right or wrong. It is according to the level. That's why we have many literature, because it accommodates everyone. It is a universal law. It's not a sectarian thing that this is only right and you have to blindly follow without asking questions. It will not work like that. Vedic literature is that you have to go in a universal way. Say like when Arjuna asked Krishna, if people don't have faith on you, what will happen? Now, if a sectarian answer will be, oh, they don't follow me, chalo, go to hell. Krishna is not giving answer like. Krishna is telling that, see, whoever living in mode of goodness, they will be elevated. Whoever lives in passion, they will remain in the same position. Who are in ignorance, they will degrade. This is what Krishna is telling. He is giving a universal. If say there is a devoid Christian or a devoid Muslim, he is very sincerely following and is living in mode of goodness, he will be elevated. If a very cutter Hindu, very good Hindu is there, but he is living in mode of ignorance, he will get degraded. This is the point. It is not which type of symbol you are wearing in the neck, which type of mark you are putting on the head, which type of photo you are in front of you, which style of worship you are doing. That is not actually matters. What matters is what type of lifestyle we have, what type of state of consciousness we have, that actually elevates a person. And here we see that because Yudhishthir Maharaj is following dharma, whoever follows dharma, it was actually in previous ages, even in the Islamic place, or if you take in the European countries, when they were God conscious countries, even when America was God conscious, They were very prosperous. Now things are becoming bad for them. They are struggling so much. They may have external prosperity, but because that is because of the previous credits only, but it will not last long. That is one thing. Like dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You perform dharma and take artha. Don't just grab artha, because if you don't do dharma, the artha which you are acquiring is from the previous. It will get exhausted very soon. But here, what Yudhishthir Maharaj is getting is what Prabhupada is going to explain here. Natya samudra garayaha swapasno spati virudha palanti aushadhi sarva kamam anuvatta tasya vai. This very clearly is telling the rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. And Prabhupada writes, since Maharashtra was under the protection of Vajita, infallible Lord, as above mentioned, the properties of Lord, namely the rivers, hills, oceans, hills, forests, etc., were all pleased, and they used to supply the respective quota of tax to the king. The secret of success is to take refuge under the protection of Supreme Lord. This is for the family also. If a family they are taking shelter of Krishna, that is the secret of success. You may say, Prabhuji, chanting from 60 months and nothing happens. My loans are not getting cleared. I am chanting 16 rounds without fail from 6 months. Yes, Krishna will happen. Loans will get cleared. You have to. So have patience. Without his sanction, nothing can be possible. To make economic development by our own endeavor on the strength of tools and machineries, not all. The sanction of Supreme Lord must be there. Otherwise, despite all instrumental arrangement, everything will be unsuccessful. The ultimate cause of success is Daiva. This is success. The ultimate cause of success is, out of 5 things that happens, one of the aspect is Daiva, sanctioned by the Lord. Unless he sanctions, all the things are there, nothing will happen. The Supreme. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira knew perfectly well that the king is the agent of the Supreme Lord to look after the welfare of the mass of people. Actually, the state belongs to the Supreme Lord. The rivers, oceans, forests, hills, drugs, etc. are not creations of man. They are all creations of the Supreme Lord, and the living being is allowed to make use of the property of Lord for the service of God. Today's slogan is that everything is for the people, and therefore the government is for the people and by the people. But it is not like that. It is for the Lord, by the Lord, for the pleasure of Lord. Everything is for Lord only. But they have replaced with people, so it is not working. This is communism is for everything for people, but spiritual communism is Lord is center. Everything is for the Lord. Question is, when you say everyone faces the difficulties according to their karma, then is cow slaughtering and all are also the cow's previous karma? Shouldn't we be compassionate towards them and the people who save cows? Yes, we have Puranas say if you kill a cow, how many hairs are there in the cow? That many times you take birth as a cow and you will be killed. Now, if the cow is getting killed, it is because of cow's karma only. But the person who is killing cow, he will get bad karma. It is not just protection of cow. We are protecting the person who is killing the cow also. We have to be compassionate. We have to try. But it is not in our hand. That is the point. We cannot do much. It means Prabhupada did not start a cow protection movement. He started cow protection, but he spoke about it, but he did not exclusively focus on it. He was focusing on preaching. He made farm community. We can also have farm community. We can protect at our capacity some cows. We can give some knowledge to people so that they don't engage in such heinous activities. But that is not actually our main mission. Means we can, that is some part we can do. We can support them if they are coming. We can encourage them because Kali is very much powerful. We cannot fight Kali. We are not like Parikshit Maharaj, but we can at least try our best to save some people from not getting carried away by Kali. That's what we can do. We should understand we are living. We are like living in what do you call minority. We cannot do much. Majority is Kali's population. We are very small, and that's the reason we cannot do. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time also cows were slaughtered. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not do anything because he knows this is a time Kali. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just spread Krishna consciousness left. Bhaktisiddhanta says Thakur time also it happened. Bhaktivinoda Thakur time also it happened. Prabhupada time also it happened. But we speak about it, but when it comes to personal, we have to practice pure devotional service. We'll encourage somebody who is in the cow, because not everybody will become devotee. There will be some dharmic people, we encourage them. Like I have some friends who are not devotees, or some semi-devotees, some are not. They are into cows and all. I encourage them. I say, very good, carry on. We support you, we encourage you. We give nice words and appreciate them. Personally, and they are very happy that we are supporting them. But supporting is what we just speak some words. We don't do much. Whatever suffering we are getting is all due to previous karma, or some suffering are also first time some living entities giving. So where is the root of this? Root of this is this is very difficult to get this answer for it. At this level, we cannot understand from where it started, but it started somewhere. This is Anadi. We will not know it unless we go to spiritual world, or we come to the level of at least Ruchi, Asakti. We'll be able to understand where it started. But everything is because of that living entity's bad karma only. But it is very dangerous actually, very, very simple, very inauspicious for the whole country if cow is killed. Not just a person, not to the village. Whole country is going to get affected. But what can we do? Because it is not killed in one, two, it is killed in thousands. And not that we say these people are killing. When Muslims, they say, how do we get cows? You Hindus only, you sell us cow. Because these people, the farmers who keep the cow, they say we cannot feed them because it is costly also to feed the cow every month. At least 3-4 thousand of fodder you have to purchase. So what they do, I will tell about this. So what this they will do when the cow becomes old, and especially bulls, nobody want, because everybody has tractors. What they would, the bulls, why they have to feed them? They live on the road, or they sell it to these Muslim people or the slaughterhouses because they get money. Instead of every month spending 5,000 on this bull and cow, which are old and invalid, better to give to slaughterhouse and take 10,000 and purchase another cow. This is what they say. You say cow protection, but who is giving us cow? You people only sell us cow. This is the point. Muslim, how can they get so many thousands of cows? They say we don't have cows. Cows are given by Hindus. So people are so selfish. This is, we are very few people fighting for it, but it's not actually what is shown is not true. Hindus are also. I got a call. One of my friends said, "Proji, this person in front of me is a Hindu. He's selling the cow to a slaughterhouse, and he's telling, Proji, what should I do? Should I purchase this cow because this cow is going to the slaughterhouse?" And he also has some cows. I said, "You try. If you have budget, you can purchase." Because he said he's selling it for 10,000 rupees. So he called me, what should I do? He's a Hindu. And he's going and telling, Arey, don't kill cow, it is so sinful. This person said, I don't care. He's a Hindu only, so what can we do? So another question is, China is very prosperous. That is not actually, the reality is something different. How much people in China, I'll just tell things like, every week in Apple company in China, every week 3 people commit suicide because they work so hard. They cannot go to their home at least for 7 months. If they want to go home, uh, they have to apply for leave 6 months before, 8 months before. Then they get chance to go to their home, meet their family members. They work in such a hostile environment, very unhygienic situations. Hostel means they have food and all, but they actually suffer so much. Every week, 3 people commit suicide. That is the statistics. That many people die working there. What is happiness? Now these European countries, they speak about democracy and all. They'll not speak on China. You know why? Because the people in China work so hard. That's the reason all the products in the world are very cheap. Now, whatever laptops and mobiles we are using, these all people, they are working so hard. Villages and villages are full of electronic. They're working only on these things. Thousands of people work, because of which all the products in the world are cheaper. European people are enjoying that all the facilities which are very cheap for them because it is from China. So that's why they never want China to become a democratic country. It remains communist, and people work very hard, and they are separated from their families and all, because that insecurity is there in China for the job and all. So externally it is prosperous, but what is happening to the people inside? I just give some clips because many things we can tell, but it's like that. So what you call happiness and prosperity, it is related. Yes. So they are all creations of Supreme Lord. All beings allowed to make use of the property of Lord for the service. I think you are okay with the answers. You want more clarification. I'm just eager to complete the purpose. You are okay with the answers. Okay. Some little bit information, I think, so that you'll understand what exactly is reality. Not giving all the details. Of course, I also don't know much. Whatever I know, little bit. So we'll continue. They are all creations of Supreme Lord. Living being is allowed to make use of the property of Lord for the service of Lord. Today's slogan is that everything is for the people, therefore the government is for the people and by the. But to produce a new species of humanity at the present moment on the basis of philosophy of religion, distance, peace, God consciousness, and the perfection of human life, in short, the ideology of godly communism. The world has to again follow in the footsteps of kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira Parikshit. So yesterday I read it, but I thought I'll just add some more. Let's complete. There is enough of everything by the will of Lord, and we can make proper use of things to live comfortably without enmity between man and man, or man and animal, or man and nature. The control of Lord is everywhere, and if the Lord is pleased, every part of nature will be pleased. That's all. This is simple. The rivers will flow. Now nothing happens on time. The rivers will flow profusely to fertilize the land. The oceans will supply sufficient quantity of minerals, pearls, and jewels. The forest will supply sufficient wood, drugs, and vegetables. And all the seasonal changes will effectively help produce fruits and flowers in profuse quantity. The artificial way of living, depending on factories and tools, can render so-called happiness only to limited number at the cost of millions. Since the energy of mass of people, so this is what I am telling. See, the artificial way of living depending on factory and tools can render so-called only to a limited number at the cost of millions. This cost of millions are Chinese. Poor people. They suffer so much. Everybody is to make these European countries enjoy. Since the energy of mass of people is engaged in factory production, the natural products have been hampered. So much pollution in China because all the factories are there in China. So they have to suffer all these pollutions. They have to suffer all this hard work. And the natural products have been hampered, and for this the mass is unhappy. Without being educated properly, the mass of people are following in the footsteps of vested interest by exploiting natural resources. And therefore, this acute competition between individual, nation, and nations. This is why there is they cannot, because they will lose the job. That's why they cannot go home. Can you imagine how painful it is? Because you cannot live also. It is very expensive. You cannot still stay with your family where you are working. They have to stay separate. So there is no control by the trained agent of Lord. We must look into that effect of modern civilization by comparison here and should follow in the footsteps of Maharaj to clean man and rip out and uncomes. So because the kings, I think this we completed. This also. Again I'll read. Because of kings having no enemy, the living being were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, disease, or excessive heat or cold. Yeah, this is China. Please read some of the purports on your own also because I have to complete. So this we read. So I will, okay, I'll read one more time because very important to understand what Prabhupada is trying to tell, and that is true also. We need to know this knowledge so that we understand what is exactly this world too, so that we will be able to appreciate what Prabhupada is giving us. To be non-violent to human being and to be a killer or enemy of pure animals is Satan's philosophy. In this age, there is enmity towards poor animals, and therefore the poor creatures are always anxious. So what happens is their anxiety will come as our bad karma. Children, women, old people, cows. If there are tears in their eyes, the whole country is doomed. That's what Vishnu says. The reaction of poor animals is being forced on human society. This is what is happening. And therefore, there is always the strain of cold or heat wars between individuals, collectively or nationally. At the time of Maharaj Yudhishthira, there was no different nation, although there was subordinate state. The whole world was united, and the supreme head, being a trained king like Yudhishthira, kept all the inhabitants free from anxiety, diseases, excessive heat and cold. They were not only economically well-to-do, but also physically fit, undisturbed by supernatural powers, by enmity from other living beings, and by disturbance of bodily and mental agonies. All these things Yudhishthira Maharaj took care. There is a power in Bengal that a big king spoils the bad king spoils the kingdom, and a bad housewife spoils the family. The truth is applicable here also. Because the king was pious and obedient to the Lord and sages, because he was no one's enemy, and because he was a recognized agent of the Lord, therefore protected by him. All the citizens under the king's protection were, so to speak, directly protected by the Lord and his authorized agents. Unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, he cannot make others happy who are under his care. There is a full cooperation between man and God and man and nature, and this conscious cooperation between man and God and man and nature, as exemplified by King Yudhishthir, can bring about happiness, peace, prosperity in the world. The attitude of exploiting one another, the custom of the day, will only bring misery. This is actually what happened. Why people are previous ages, everybody was doing their thing. So there was no competition. Now, because the system is created so badly, people just compete for no reason. Sri Hari, Lord Krishna, resided at Hastinapur for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister Subhadra. Krishna was to start for Dwaraka, his own kingdom. After the battle of Kurukshetra and Yudhishthira being enthroned, but to oblige the request of Maharaj Yudhishthira and to show special mercy to Bhishma, Lord Krishna stopped at Hastinapur, the capital of Pandavas. The Lord decided to stay especially to pacify the aggrieved king, as well as to please Subhadra, sister of Lord Sri Krishna. Subhadra was especially to be pacified because she lost her only son Abhimanyu, who was just married. The boy left his wife, Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit. The Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Only his devotees can play the part of his relatives. The Lord is absolute. So, Krishna's sister's son also died. So, what does it mean? That Krishna is telling this matter world is like that. Not only that, Rukmini's first son is kidnapped. Krishna is Supreme Lord, and his first wife is Mahalakshmi. Sorry, she is Lakshmi Devi, Mahalakshmi, and her son is kidnapped. Krishna did not do anything. He came after a long time. Again, Pradyumna comes after uh, with his girlfriend, of course. But the point is what? This metal world is like that. We should not complain. Subhadra is not, Are you Supreme Lord, bring my son back. He says, afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respects to Maharaj Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot. Maharaj Yudhishthira was the elder cousin of Lord Krishna, and therefore, while departing from him, the Lord bowed at king's feet. The king embraced him as a younger brother, although the king knew perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. The Lord takes pleasure when some of his devotees accept him as less important in terms of love. No one is greater than or equal to the Lord, but he takes pleasure in being treated as younger than his devotees. These are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The impersonalists cannot enter into the supernatural roles played by the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, Bhima and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of the same age. But Nakula and Sahadeva bowed down before the Lord because they were younger than him. So they are just following the etiquettes. Even though they know he's Supreme Lord. This is so Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Virata, Tanaya, Tata, Gandhari, Dhatarashtrasya, Yutsu, Gautamo, Yamo, Vrakrodascha, Dhaumyascha, Striyo, Vatsya, Sutadayah, Nasri, Rivi, Muyanto, Viharan, Sarangam, Dhanvaha. It says, at that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhatarashtra, Yutsu, Kripacharya, Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena, Dhaumya, Satyavati, all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear separation. So Satyavati is also living that. Satyavati is Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive for living beings, especially for the devotees, that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned soul, under the spell of illusory energy, forgets the Lord there. Otherwise, he cannot. The feeling of such separation cannot be described, but it can simply be imagined by devotees only. After his separation from Vrindavan and the innocent rural cowherd boys, girls, ladies, and others, they all felt shock throughout their lives, and separation of Radharani is the most beloved cowherd girl is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse, and the feeling which was expressed by them is heart-rending. There is, of course, a difference in the qualities of the transcendental devotees of the Lord, but none of them who are ever contacted the Lord by direct communication or otherwise can leave him for a moment. This is the attitude of pure devotees. So Prabhupada immediately, Prabhupada is feeling separation from Krishna. He is immediately writing such nice purport. So there is separation of gopis. So anybody who comes in contact with Krishna, they feel that separation. Of course, they're at the level of prema. That is their great fortune. So it happens for them. So it is not very easy to feel separation from Krishna, because there is so much separation from material things. I can feel separation from material things, material people, father, mother, wife, husband. But with Krishna is quite difficult. For them, at least we should cross the stage of Nishtha. Then we may get slowly that feeling for Krishna and separation. Now, whatever people they say, feeling separation from Krishna, tears, this, that, and they go to Vrindavan, they come back from Vrindavan. There is some emotions, but that we cannot say they are completely spiritual. But they are not material also, but they are not completely spiritual. like that. For to get a spiritual emotion of that level, they need to come cross the stage of Nishtha. Then they will start getting spiritual emotions. So we have very nice targets to achieve. So no problem. We should be in a challenging spirit. We should be enthusiastic. Yes, I have something to achieve in life, and which is worth working very hard to achieve. Otherwise, people are trying to achieve something in the material world which has no much value. Even if they achieve something, what is so big deal about it? We'll anyway lose it. But if we achieve something which we will never lose, that means we have to free ourselves from our vasanas, sanskaras, anarthas, and then achieve attraction to Krishna. That is some achievement in this life, and it will continue for next life, and we continue until we attain perfection. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees and have become freed from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? They have been intimately associated with this person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, sleeping and sitting with him. So, Satsanga Mukta Dussango Hatum Notsahate Buddha कीर्तमानं यशोयश्य सकृत् आकर्ण्य रोचनम् तस्मिन् नश्यत् या पार्थ स्नेह सेहरन् विरहं कथं दर्शन स्पर्शन संलाप सय्यासन भोजने. This is a very famous slogan. So this is what is Pandavas had such a close association. For them to get separation from Krishna is really actually painful. If they have so much experience of it. The living being's constitutional position is one of serving a superior. He is obliged to serve by force the direct dictates of illusory material energy in different phases of sense gratification. And in serving the senses, he is never tired. Even though he may be tired, the illusory energy perpetually forces him to do without being satisfied. There is no end to such sense gratificatory business, and the condition shows being entangled in such servitude without hope of release. The release is only effected by association with pure devotees. So, by such association, one is gradually promoted to the transcendental consciousness. Thus, he can know that his eternal position is to render service unto the Lord and not to the perverted senses, incapacity of lust, anger, desire to lord it over, etc. Material society, friendship, and love are all different phases of lust. This is my favorite statement. After reading this, I was like little relieved. Prabhupada tells this many times. One time it stuck. Material society, friendship, and love, all different phases of life. And Prabhupada in one place is material, friendship, society, and love can never give us happiness. Then it was such a relief for me. Home, country, family, society, wealth, and all sorts of colorless are all causes of bondage in the material world, where the threefold miseries of life are concomitant factors. As one associates with pure devotees and heart and hears them submissively, attachment for material enjoyment slackens and attraction for hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord become prominent. Once this attraction begins, it goes on progressively increasing without stoppage, like fire in gunpowder. It is said that Hari, the personality of God, it is so transcendently attractive that even those who are self-satisfied by self-realization are factually liberated from all material bondage, also become devotees of the Lord. Under the circumstances, it is easily understood what must have been the position of the Pandavas, who are constant companions of the Lord. They could not even think of separation from Sri Krishna, since the attraction was more intense for them because of continuous personal contact. Their position is in separation from him was no less than that of gopis of Vrindavan. The Lord being absolute, however, separation from him is as good as personal contact. So this is the secret. So the separation actually helps them become more closer to Lord. The Lord being absolute, separation from is as good as personal contact only. Because remembering of his form, qualities, name, fame, pastime, etc. is so attractive for the pure devotee that he forgets all form, qualities, name, fame, and activities of mundane world. And due to his mature association with other pure devotees, he is not out of contact with the Lord for a moment. So this is how they will feel in ecstasy. Next is all their hearts were melted for him on the pot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking their eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. They are so disturbed, mentally agitated that Krishna is living. Krishna is naturally attractive for all living beings because he is the chief eternal among all entities. Whatever love we have now, whatever we get attracted to any other living being. Oh, my wife is so beautiful, my husband is so nice, my child is so cute. All are Krishna's energy only. That is Krishna's beauty only of the child is attracting mother. That is Krishna's beauty or Krishna's qualities that are attraction between boy and girl. It is not that boy, because boy don't have as such, the soul does not have. It is all Krishna's only we are getting attracted. So ultimately we are getting attracted to Krishna only. But problem is in a wrong way. He alone is the maintainer of many eternals. Thus, it is stated in the Katha Upanishad, and thus one must obtain permanent peace and prosperity by revival of one's eternal relation with him, now forgetting under the spell of Maya the illusion and energy of the Lord. Once this relation is rightly revived, the conditioned soul at once becomes free from the illusion of material energy and becomes mad after the association of Lord. This association is made possible not only by personal contact with Lord, but also by association with his name, fame, form, and qualities. Srimad Bhagavatam trains the conditioned souls to this stage of perfection by submissive hearing from pure devotees. Yeah, we will read few purports because I have to take break few more days after. I have Mayapur Yatra I want to complete. I'll just see how many shlokas are there in this chapter. This is 36, so maybe we can complete soon. Maybe 2 days we'll complete, and then before I go for Mayapur Yatra. The female relatives, whose eyes were flooded with tears of anxiety for Krishna, came out of the palace. They could not stop their tears, only with great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. There are hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapur. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him, and as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at the same time that tears at the moment might be cause of misfortune for Krishna, therefore they wanted to check them. This is very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. Therefore, they smeared their tears in their eyes, and their hearts throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives and daughter-in-laws of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with Krishna, but all of them heard of him and his great activities, and thus they thought of him, talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and become affectionate also, like those who are in direct contact. Therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, or worships Krishna becomes attracted to him. Because Krishna is absolute, there is no difference between his name, form, qualities, etc. Our intimate relation with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering him. It is so done due to spiritual potency. So very nice. Uh, just they did not see also Krishna because that was etiquette in Vedic culture. Now, if you want somebody, you can go and meet. It is in the same house. It is not very difficult. You just have to go and meet. But that time it is not like that. And of course, Krishna, because they're all big kings and they are very strict followers of Vedic culture. And now Yudhishthir Maharaj made an elaborate arrangement for Krishna's departure also. When the Lord was departing the palace of Hastinapur, different types of drums like the mridanga, dola, nagara, Dundubiri, Dundu are Puri and Dundubi. The flutes like the Gomukha and other instruments like Venas, Aries, all sounded together to show him honor. Out of loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Guru got out of up on top of the palace. This and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. So Prabhupada writes nice purport. This is about the Vedic culture. Shyness is a particular extra natural beauty of the fair sex and it commands respect from the opposite sex. This custom was observed even during the days of Mahabharata, that is more than 5,000 years ago. It is only the less intelligent persons not well versed in the history of the world who say that observation of separation of female from male is an introduction of Muhammadian period in India. This incident from Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of the palace observed strict parda, restricted association with men. And instead of coming down in an open air where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up to the top of the palace and from there paid their respects to Lord Krishna by showering of flowers. It is definitely stated here that the ladies were smiling there on the top of the palace, checked by shyness. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex and it enhances their beauty and prestige even if they are of less important family or even if they are less attractive. We have practical experience of this fact. The sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectful gentlemen simply by manifesting a lady's shyness. Half naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. Human civilization is conceived of by the sages of India is to help one free himself from the clutches of illusion. The material beauty of women is an illusion because actually the body is made of earth, water, fire, air, etc. But because there is the association of living spark with matter, it appears to be beautiful. No one is attracted by an earthen doll, even if it is most perfectly prepared to attract the attention of others. The dead body has no beauty because no one will accept the dead body of a so-called beautiful woman. Therefore, the conclusion is that the spirit spark is beautiful, and because the soul's beauty, because of the soul's beauty, one is attracted by the beauty of the outward body. The Vedic wisdom therefore forbids us to be attracted by female beauty. But because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows very restricted mixing of woman and man. They say that woman is considered to be the fire and the man is considered to be the butter. Butter must melt in association with fire and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary and shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is a natural gift and it must be utilized. So I will not comment much on it. You all have heard it many times. I'll just take this last one. At the time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of peace, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with the lace and pearls. Great jewels, pearls, and valuable stones were used in the luxurious royal ceremony. They were all natural gifts and are protected by the hills, oceans, etc., by the order of the Lord. When man does not waste his valuable time producing unwanted things in the name of necessities by so-called development of industrial enterprise, they are now using pots of putta picha instead of metals like silver, gold, brass, and copper. They are using marijuana instead of uh, margarine instead of purified butter, and 1/4 of the city population has no shelter. This is proper time, and now also it is like that. So, okay. Uddhava and Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans, and the Lord, as the master of Madhu, seated on scattered flowers, commanded them along the road. Okay, one last one I'll take. Here, here and there were heard the benedictions being prayed to Krishna, which were neither befitting nor unbefitting, because they were all for the Absolute, who was now playing the part of human being. At places there were sounds of Vedic benedictions aiming at the personality of God. The benedictions were fitting in the sense that the Lord was playing the part of human being, as if a cousin of Maharajishri. But they were also unfitting because the Lord is absolute and has nothing to do with any kind of material relativities. He is nirguna, or there are no material qualities in him, but he is full of transcendental qualities. In the transcendental world, there is nothing contradictory, whereas in the relative world, everything has its opposite. In the relative world, white is the opposite conception of black, but in the transcendental world, there is no distinction between white and black. Therefore, the sounds of benedictions uttered by the learned Brahmanas here and there appear to be contradictory in relation with the absolute person. But when they are applied to the absolute person, who they lose all contradiction and become transcendental. One example may clear this idea. Lord Sri Krishna is sometimes described as a thief. He is very famous among his pure devotees as Makanchor. He used to steal butter from the houses of neighbors at Vrindavan in his early ages. Since then, he is famous as a thief. But in spite of his being famous as a thief, he is worshipped as a thief because in the mundane world, a thief is punished and is never praised. Since he is the absolute personality of God, in everything is applicable to him, and still, in spite of all contradictions, he is the supreme personality of God. Okay, thank you all very much. We'll end here. Any questions, comments? Yes. Tomorrow we'll meet. Try to complete. That's it. Hare Krishna.